Hey, I want to take a moment here today to address the bump stock ban that just came down. The new rulings that allow the ATF to regulate bump stocks. Now, these were sponsored by President Trump, the NRA, etc. All these people that everyone thought was going to be pro-gun and on our side all the time, they got our backs. Well, this is kind of like my time and other people's time to do my little told you so, told you so, told you so dance, because turns out they're not on our sides. And we've said this for a long time. A lot of people like myself have said, we cannot count on other people to defend our rights. We cannot count on public figures or public organizations to defend our rights, because all they care about is their approval ratings and, where their bread is buttered. How much money are they going to make? That's all they care about. The NRA only cared about how much fundraising can we do off of a bump stock ban. And President Trump only thought about, I might win over some females, 25 to 40 if I actually do a bump stock ban. They might vote for me next time. So they don't care about our rights. That's all they care about. And I'm afraid to say, or I hate to say, that the gun community itself is a bunch of lazy, cheap bastards. And they're always looking for a messiah to protect them. Instead of getting out there and fighting themselves or support the people that actually are fighting already. They want to lay back and say, I want to take the easiest, cheapest route, and that is to just look for the second coming of the gun messiah, like I said, and they're going to protect everybody, and they're going to take care of everything, and I can just sit back and spend all my money on, Coors Light and Marlboros or something. Or the second ATV that I want to buy. That's not the way it is. And I've been telling people that for a long time. The only people that can defend our rights is us, ordinary, everyday citizens. And I know everyone can't do what I do here. A lot of people would feel stupid getting in front of a camera and blabbering and screaming and yelling and acting like a fool and drooling on themselves. I obviously have no problem with that. A lot of people have too much self-respect to do what I do. And then there's other people that just can't get out there every time that there's something going on at the Capitol and show up because they got a job. They're not unemployable like me. So, I have advantages. I got no self-esteem and I'm unemployable, old and retired. So I can do this kind of thing. I know everyone can't, but, at least support the people that do. If you can, then do. If you can't, support those that do. Stop looking for the new messiah to protect our rights. Stop counting on organizations and politicians, because they're not gonna. Start counting on the guy in his garage down the street from you that gets online and fights back against propaganda and misinformation, and who actually shows up at Capitol buildings and screams at senators, like a nut job. Support those people, because they're like you. Politicians are not like you. The people at the NRA are not like you. They're not like me. So stop looking for that. Stop thinking that's going to happen. I don't give two shits about bump stocks. I think they're pieces of garbage that are bad for your gun. But do I think the government has a right to suppress them or to regulate them? No, they do not. Just because I don't want something doesn't mean it shouldn't be available. And I've seen so many FUDs fall into that trap. I also don't want, like a spiral curl perm. That doesn't mean I think no one should be able to get them, even though I would look fucking awesome in one. I'd have to get extensions first, though, because, the natural, what I got to work with here ain't what it used to be. But, it's just a ridiculous thing about the gun community that they so often just want to sit back and say, well, I'm just going to vote for this guy and he'll do all the work. That ain't the way it is. You either got to do the work or you got to support the people that actually do the work. Not politicians, not organizations, not big organizations like the NRA at least. There are some organizations that are small and they are people like me, people like you. Like the GOA, that's not a multi-millionaire salary group of people. That are people that have normal everyday jobs and they work and fight for the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, etc. So if you want to support the GOA, that's great, but that actually requires you to get off your ass and support the GOA. And if you want to support other people, like, all the gun channels out there that actually stand up and fight. I'm not necessarily talking about all the commercial channels, but support them too, because they play a role also. Those people that are out there promoting gun sales and promoting accessory sales and, ARs, etc., they're actually doing more for public opinion of the Second Amendment than any politician does. Because they're visible, they're promoting firearms like they're something people want and people should have. You know, they're doing more than the people you think are going to defend you. And you might get mad at them like, oh, they're making money. Well, so what? They have a job, and they have a job that's doing a good thing. I think most of us try to do good things with what we make off of Patreon or YouTube, etc. I mean, I think my record speaks for itself. And I think the other channels that use their money to stay on the air and provide you access to more products and visibility of more products, I think they're doing you a service also. And so like I say, stop just throwing a fit every time you get turned on by some politician you thought was going to save you. Because by now you should be used to it. So for the people that are bitching about Trump said he was pro-gun and he did this, I'm like, fuck, it's your fault. Have you not learned your lesson now? You know, you ever hear that thing, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, never go be fooled again, or actually it's fool me twice, shame on me. If you've never heard of that, I can't help you. Because if you continuously let yourself be fooled, whose fault is it? So stop taking the easy, cheap way out. Start either standing up yourself or support the people that do stand up already. Support the people that are visible. It doesn't kill you to spend $2 a month on someone's Patreon. But you act like you're dying every time some politician you thought was going to save you turns on you and does what you should have predicted they were going to do from the beginning. And I don't want to turn this into a lecture where I'm scolding people. But come on, really? Are you surprised? This happens every time. Not once has it ever, it's like the same people like, once the Republicans get in charge, the Second Amendment will be back in vogue. They've been completely in charge for years in a row, multiple times over the past decade, and nothing. The closest thing we got to something was allowing something to expire, and the sitting president at the time, George W., said if they wanted to send it back up to him, he'd sign it. They just couldn't get together enough to get it back up to him. So that's not hard. That's hardly a victory. So stop looking for the Messiah. Stop thinking you can sit back and let somebody else handle the problem. This is a right of the people, and the only people that can defend it are the people. And if you're not one of the ones, like I said, that's willing to make a fool of yourself in front of a camera or show up at a state house, or for some reason or another you just can't because you got to work every day, well, support the people that do. Stop looking for miracles. Stop looking for someone to fight for you, and start fighting yourself one way or another.